So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was testifying before the House Weaponization Committee yesterday, and it was nuts. My name is Matthew, and welcome to Matthew Land. All right, so RFK Jr., his dad was Bobby Kennedy. His dad was actually shot when he was going to run for president. Now, the Kennedys, obviously, it's those Kennedys. The most famous name in American politics. Now, all of the Kennedys after JFK, they typically don't use their family name to go anywhere. Sometimes it may have been used, it may have gotten them somewhere, but they never invoked it themselves. But RFK, he uses it all the time. As a matter of fact, in his opening statement, he said that his uncle and his father and everyone, he was invoking JFK and he was invoking Bobby Kennedy, who was going to run for president, and everyone he could. He was invoking their name, saying how great of a person they were. Now, his dad at JFK's eulogy, all he said about JFK was he was a good and decent man. That's all he said. He didn't invoke really all that much. But RFK Jr., he went on and on about all this stuff before he was talking about anything about him. Now, this was a hearing on censorship. I did a short yesterday about it, and it was kind of a mess. But now RFK Jr., he was a mess himself. In college, he was addicted to drugs. He actually got arrested for heroin possession. He said actually at one point in the hearing that he was actually pretty famous for being an anti-vaxxer. He was one of those people who said that the vaccine was the government's way of putting a microchip in people. He said he was never anti-vax. He said he's never told people not to get the vaccine, when he has actually been quoted of saying that he's been on a hike and he'd see someone carrying their child, and he's told that mother not to get their child vaccinated because it would save their life. And he said that maybe him saying it won't do anything, but if 10 people say it, then maybe, just maybe, that child's life would be saved. He said that COVID was specifically made, it was created to target and attack Caucasians and Black people. And the people who are most immune, so I'm reading this quote off, are Ashkenazi Jews and the Chinese. And he also said that this was a hearing on censorship. He said that he was a victim of a new form of censorship that was called targeted propaganda, where people apply pejoratives like anti-vax. Now, I was watching this hearing and I saw him say this and I hit pause. Because I was like, what the hell is he talking about? A pejorative, which is like a slang term for, talking smack about someone, like anti-vax. I'm like, okay. This is called criticism. This is called when someone doesn't agree with you. This isn't like someone calling you the N-word This isn't like a lot of things. If someone called me stupid because they didn't agree with what I said, that's not censorship. I mean, it might be mean. I'm not going to go home and grab my teddy bear and start crying. I'm a big boy. If someone calls you anti-vax because you're against the vaccine, I mean, that kind of sounds accurate. Doesn't it? If you're against something, then you're anti the thing you're against. I'm anti-pollution. Someone calls me anti-pollution, then yes, I am. He's against the vaccine, then he's an anti-vaxxer. Yes, he is. If you're against abortion, then you're pro-life, which is the opposite of anti. Yes, you are. He said that, like, talking about the vaccine, the government didn't say that you have to get this. The CDC didn't say, Fauci didn't say you have to get this. They said that it was highly recommended that you get this. And he was saying that recommended is the same thing as mandated. No, it's not. There are thousands upon thousands of people who did not get it. Personally, I did. And I got the booster. And then there was another booster, and I got that one. Because I believe in the vaccine. Almost 1 million people in this country died because this country handled the pandemic poorly. You want to know what continent handled it the best? Africa. Africa handled it the best. Because they've seen a lot of pandemics and they know how to handle it. You know what they do? They take vaccines. That's why they handled it the best. And there's another thing about this guy. He's on the record as supporting Holocaust deniers. Now, this is the guy that is talking about censorship. Is this the guy that we really want to take his word for anything? Now, if we're talking about social media companies, what the government does, if there's someone who's talking about that's a Holocaust denier and saying that we should go after the Jews, what the government does is something like that may be against a social media company's terms of service. And so what the government does, if they see something like that, they will sometimes inform the social media company, and even a witness said that. A witness for the social media company said, sometimes we will be informed by the government that there is a post that violates our terms of service and ask us to look into it. And if it does, sometimes we'll take it down because it violates our terms of service. This is what we do. If it's against our rules, then we will take it down. It's a private company. They can do it. It's not the government. People have freedom of speech. The government can't do anything about your freedom of speech. A private company can, because it's a private company. They don't give you freedom of speech. They can decide what they want to do. Their terms of service that you click accept without reading, I click accept without reading. It's so long. And if you don't agree, then you don't have a choice. Either you're on it or you're not. What are you going to do? You're not going to negotiate that. You click accept without reading it. If it violates their terms of service, they can delete that post. It's up to them, not the government. The government can say, hey, look into this, and the social media company will decide. But the Democrats were pointing things out that RFK Jr. was saying that violates terms of service. The Democrats don't like RFK Jr., who calls himself a Democrat. They don't like him. Just flat out, they don't like him. Let's be honest. They've said they don't like him. He has said that he's the most pro-Jew of anyone in the world, and they actually pulled up video footage of him being pretty anti-Semitic. I don't know. The guy was a mess. But the whole weaponization committee, I've watched a number of their hearings, and it's all been a mess. But I get bored, and that's what I do, is I watch committee hearings. So I'll let you know about boring stuff like that if you want. So anyway, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.